Appreciate you guys. Happy to get a win. That's a very good Lipscomb team that's going to win 20-something games and pick to win their league, has a chance to win their league. I don't think it was I would think it was an entertaining game of basketball. I'm not sure it was on offense, the most prettiest or well-played or well-executed game of basketball. I do think that very good teams find ways to win ugly games, and I think both teams were definitely treated the game very seriously and did a good job at preparation, and both teams certainly executed on defense. I thought our guys, certainly after the first 10 minutes or so, really showed how tough they are and really showed the grit that we have. And for the last 30 minutes of the game, I thought we defended and rebounded certainly as well as this team has. So happy to see that, and for sure very, very pleased to come out of this one with a win. Yeah, I don't know if it's anything. We try. I think as coaches, you try to stay in the moment and not think about the past or the future. You try to just whether you're 10 for 10 or 0 for 10. It shouldn't affect defense and rebounding and things like that. Now, 99% of us normal human beings, it will. It's a lot easier to do your best at your job, the parts of the job that are challenging. When things are going great, and you're feeling good. It's a little harder when things aren't going. When you feel like you're doing a good job and things just aren't working out, even though you're trying. So it's a challenge, and it takes time to defend and to rebound and stick together, even when the offense isn't completely clicking. So. The reason we play this team has already been challenged. Obviously, we have some winning experience in our past, but here in the last month, we've tried to play and go out there and challenge ourselves every single day, and I think when you put yourself in challenging situations, you gradually get better and better and better, and you stay more together and stay more locked in. So again, I thought we did a really good job rebounding. I don't know what the final numbers are, but man, it felt like we limited them to misses, and then we cleaned it up. And there was definitely a big offensive bucket there where I think we got a tip in, maybe on the second offensive rebound. So just continuing to play through on both ends of the floor and finish plays was definitely very good to see.
Enoch in that starting role, and then also had the highest plus-minus in the game today at 11. His ability, especially late, went to the rack a couple times, got some good buckets late. How do you evaluate his performance here today?
Yeah, I think he's, Enoch's done a great job. Obviously, he's a young man that, him and I have had a lot of history and had a lot of success together. So I inherently want to trust him in those moments, but at the same time, we've had success with everybody on our team. So, I think he needs to continue to play with a motor. Usually when Enoch's talking, he's really good, and when he's kind of quiet, that means he's hesitating or overthinking a little bit, and I thought in general having Baba, Enoch, and Wu on the floor helped with our size and our length and rebounding and defense. Our guards, we have the four senior guards and Jack are very talented players, but obviously with defense and rebounding, by having Wu and Enoch, two guys that really are guards that are 6'6", 6'7", it adds a defensive component. I thought our size could bother them and our quickness could bother them, and they certainly did. So I was happy to see Enoch continue to, he had a great stretch in the first half. Kind of get us back in that game. I thought he was a major part of that, and he's done a great job over the last year and a half, just continuing to move forward and continuing to trust what we do and work hard, and happy to see it pay off, and he certainly was a huge part of our win tonight.
Not a great night shooting against you guys from three-point range at 5 of 22, but both of them 5 of 31, so you guys look pretty good there.
I thought defensively we played pretty well. I guess always when you miss shots, you feel like you should make some of them. And I thought Christian played really well. He just didn't. The shots just didn't go in. He's going to be fine. Shoot, Tyrone Marshall 0 for 4 from 3. Maybe one was one was off the dribble late in the clock, but man, he had a couple clean catch and shoot looks. So, we'll keep working. That's obviously going to be important to win games at the end of the year. You want to be efficient. You want to shoot the right one. You want to have the confidence to step up and make the right shot. So it's easy to think sometimes when you miss shots, you just miss them, and the other team, it was our defense. But we'll look at the film. Bottom line, to hold that team to 61 points and only 5 threes, and shoot their best 2 players combined. my math's a little shaky, 5 for 22 overall, 2 for 12 from 3. I mean, those two guys were the focal point. So, I mean, I guess we hoped if our focus was a little too much on guarding and holding those two guys that averaged 40 points a game to 16, maybe that affected our offense a little bit. Maybe we're spending energy on that end. I'm not sure. But no doubt, we want to keep getting better on both ends of the floor. And like I said, I think tonight was a gritty, tough, defensive-minded win. But if we're going to get to where we want to get to, we've got to be able to pull those out. Yeah, I thought the end of the first half is where that started. I think it was pretty. I don't know what the lead got to. Maybe 25-15, 25-17. I can't remember. It was something like that in the middle of the first half, and I thought we were just a little sluggish. So I mean, to get back, we were down 1 at the half, but we got all the way back and took the lead. So I thought that started. I thought we went into the locker room, and I could see it in the guys' eyes that they believed that, okay, if we make multiple efforts on D, if we continue to lock in, and even if things aren't going our direction, we know that, all right, that wasn't a great half and we're right where we're at. Man, if we can play the way we played the last 5-6 minutes for 20 minutes, I mean, there was confidence and belief in that group at halftime. So those are the ups and downs of a game. Those are the things you see. And so I thought the end of the first half is where that belief started, and I thought we did a great job continuing that. I think they had 6 points in the first 8 minutes of the second half. They made a little run there in the middle. But, man, I thought the last 25, 28 minutes of the game, we probably guarded as well as we have all year. Yeah.
Don and Enoch really did a good job of finding gaps in that zone and improved offense.
Yeah, they do kind of. I mean, it's some pack line principles that they do. Kind of that Tony Bennett, Virginia pack. Let's pack it in, and they kind of goat you into out of rhythm, uncomfortable shots. Not allowing you to shoot, but just kind of sticking together. And I think they're probably not the quickest team in the world, so they try to really pack it in and use team defense to protect the rim, and they do a good job at that. And obviously I knew we would be tempted to shoot a lot of jump shots early. We tried to not do that, but we did. And then once we missed those, I thought it riled us a little bit. So once we bought into attacking the rim and not just taking the first half decent look we got, but being patient. Josh Newman told me the whole game, man, if we pass the ball 5 times, we're going to get whatever we want to. And we were trying our best to, it is hard when you feel like you're open. And I want our guys to be confident now. I don't want them to think that they can't make an open shot. So, I want them to play with extreme confidence. But sometimes when you got to move the defense a little bit, hopefully a driving lane comes out. And I agree. Don and Enoch did a good job at picking those moments. I think we scored a couple in transition, but then when we didn't, we were able to move the ball a little bit and get a drive. Enoch did a great job in the high post when they went zone. They tried to slow us down. When we had Don off the floor, it seemed like they were going zone every time. So Enoch did a really good job in the high post, making passes and driving the ball to the basket. That kind of look away pass to Baba I thought was a big play in the game. I think they're picked to win their league. This kind of this Lipscomb game, the Jackson State game, and the Kentucky game are obviously part of this whole MTE we signed up for. That it sounded like a good idea at the time, but then when you get those 3 opponents, you realize that none of these are going to be easy. But don't get me wrong, that's what we intentionally did sign up for. I mean, obviously, NBA, Mo Williams, head coach, NBA player, he's done a great job there. I think they've challenged themselves and played some of the best teams in the country. They went to Vanderbilt and played very competitively the other night. Daryl Jackson's been watching them. I haven't watched any yet. So we'll get started there tonight. But I think they're a talented team that's got a lot of winning history and expects to come in here and play to win, just like Lipscomb just did. So we'll take tonight, tomorrow to kind of turn the page, move on. But obviously another opportunity for us here at home to get another win, and we're going to need our best effort to do that.
You're a team that doesn't have home games until January.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard on them, but it might be hardening for the team too. What's your thoughts on the team traveling like that?
Yeah, 100%. I think it's some of the SWAC teams do that, and kind of an effort to technically to raise money. At the same time, it's quite an experience. I mean, they've played Houston, Xavier, Vanderbilt, and I'm missing one, I think. I think that, yeah, but I mean, you learn from that. You get better from that. You know, playing Houston and Xavier prepares you to go into Vanderbilt and be very competitive, and that experience prepares you to come in to WKU and be very competitive. You know, I think we tried to intentionally do kind of the same thing. You know, obviously we're fortunate enough to play Wichita at home, but you know, we had a preseason closed scrimmage, then you play UAB, and you play Wichita, and you play Grand Canyon, and the point of that is to be a way better team today when we're playing Lipscomb than we would have been otherwise. So obviously they're a well-coached group. I would assume it's the same idea, and they'll certainly be coming in here with the intent to win. Thank you, guys.